Outsiders observing the lives of celebrities often believe it to be a life full of comfort and ease, but the reality can be very different. In the case of Karen Carpenter, her musical talent provided a connection that resonated deeply with fans. Despite her petite stature, she displayed incredible vocal power and remarkable percussion skills. People admired her for the glitz, glamour, talent, and success, but beneath that surface lay a complex story. The unspoken struggles, relentless hard work, and emotional challenges can easily be overlooked. Did the pursuit of excellence overshadow her ability to simply enjoy life? The tension between her soaring highs and profound lows serves as a poignant reminder of the cost of fame. It raises questions about how the pressures of the music industry affected her well-being, and whether she was truly able to embrace the joys of life amidst the burdens that came with her extraordinary gift. Born on March 2, 1950, in New Haven, Connecticut, Karen Ann Carpenter entered a world shaped by unique family influences. Her parents, Agnes Royer and Harold Bertram Carpenter, had a fascinating background due to their missionary work in Wuzhou, China. This early exposure to diverse cultures likely instilled in her a sense of creativity and resilience. Harold Carpenter's pursuit of education in the United Kingdom further enriched the family's intellectual environment. Later, he transitioned into the printing business, a move that demonstrated adaptability and ambition. Growing up in a loving household, Karen developed her musical talents, nurtured by her supportive family. These formative years laid the groundwork for her later success as an iconic singer and drummer. The values instilled by her parents combined with her early experiences in music would shape her path in the entertainment industry, allowing her to make a lasting impact. In her early childhood, Karen Carpenter was surrounded by music, thanks to her elder brother Richard, who was a talented piano prodigy. This influence shaped her love for music from a young age. At just 4 years old, Karen immersed herself in dancing by taking tap and ballet classes, laying the groundwork for her future performances. In June of 1963, her family made a significant move to Downey, a suburb of Los Angeles, because of a job opportunity for her father Harold. This relocation marked a new chapter for the Carpenters. After moving to Downey, Karen began her high school journey in 1964. This period was essential for her development as she continued to explore her musical talents alongside her education. The supportive environment created by her family and community played a role in shaping who she would become, paving the way for her to later achieve fame as a celebrated singer and drummer. It was during these formative years that she developed the skills that would later captivate audiences worldwide. Karen Carpenter's interest in drumming began when she saw her classmate, Frankie Chavez, perform. This sparked a fascination with the drums that would shape much of her early musical journey. Recognizing her enthusiasm, her family bought her a Ludwig drum set, a decision that would prove pivotal in her development as a musician. With her new drum kit, Karen threw herself into learning, practicing various intricate beat patterns with dedication. Within a year, she had mastered a level of proficiency that surprised many who heard her play. Her commitment to improving her drumming skills was clear, and it was this same dedication that would later help define her distinctive sound as part of the Carpenters. The journey that began with a simple act of watching a classmate perform blossomed into a passion that would shape her musical identity for years to come. Karen Carpenter's journey into the music world began with a strong foundation of musical training. Early on, she sought guidance from jazz drummer Bill Douglas, a move that played a significant role in refining her musical abilities. Karen was not just passionate about singing, but also dedicated to mastering the craft of music. Her musical journey continued to unfold as she received the prestigious John Philip Sousa Band Award upon her high school graduation in 1967, a clear indication of her growing talent and potential. After high school, Karen pursued a music major at Long Beach State, where she further honed her musical skills. The environment at Long Beach State provided Karen with the opportunity to grow both as a musician and a vocalist. Her confidence in singing blossomed during this time, allowing her to develop the distinct voice that would later captivate millions around the world. These early experiences of musical training and recognition were integral in shaping Karen Carpenter's career, laying the groundwork for her eventual success as one of the most beloved voices in pop music. Karen Carpenter's musical journey began with her first band, Tutu, which she formed with her childhood friends. However, this early group didn't last long, dissolving after a short period of time. Despite the band's brief existence, it was an important starting point for Karen as it exposed her to the world of performance and music. Afterward, she found a more lasting musical partnership with her brother Richard and college friend Wes Jacobs. Together, they formed the Carpenters, a duo that would soon become iconic. Initially, the group focused on jazz and performed in nightclubs, honing their craft and developing their unique sound. This period of their career laid the groundwork for the massive success that the Carpenters would eventually achieve, turning Karen's voice into one of the most recognizable in pop music history. The Carpenters' early recordings with RCA Records, although well-intentioned, failed to make an impact on the charts. Despite the lack of commercial success, the duo continued their pursuit of music, determined to find their unique sound. Their audition with bassist Joe Osborne marked a pivotal moment in their career. This audition led to a deal with Magic Lamp Records, where they recorded a single that saw only limited success. Despite their hard work, the single did not achieve the breakthrough they hoped for. In the following years, Karen and Richard Carpenter formed a new group called Spectrum, along with Gary Sims and John Bettis. This was a period of experimentation, with the group attempting to explore layered vocals and a jazz style that was different from much of the popular music of the time. However, their style struggled to gain traction, especially in an era dominated by rock and psychedelic trends. The changing musical landscape made it difficult for the group to find a solid audience, and despite their innovative efforts, Spectrum faced challenges in gaining widespread recognition. As they moved forward, the Carpenters' sound continued to evolve. Yet, it was during this period of trial and error that the foundation was laid for their future success, as the duo worked tirelessly to find their place in the music world, ultimately defining a sound that would capture the hearts of millions. In 1968, the Dick Carpenter Trio won the All-American College Show, marking a turning point in their musical journey. This victory led to their career's significant takeoff. Shortly afterward, in 1969, A&M Records signed the Carpenters, officially launching their career in the professional music industry. It was during this time that Karen Carpenter's unique musical talents truly began to shine. Her distinctive blend of drumming and vocals caught the attention of both critics and fans. Karen's ability to seamlessly integrate her skills as a drummer while delivering flawless vocals set her apart from other artists in the industry. The success of the Carpenters was not only due to her powerful voice, but also her distinctive drumming style, which added a rich, rhythmic layer to their music. As a result, Karen became a pivotal figure in the duo's rise to fame, with their music resonating deeply with listeners and establishing them as one of the most iconic groups of the era. Karen Carpenter's role in the Carpenters underwent a significant transition, from being primarily a drummer to taking on the position of frontwoman. Early in her career, Karen had insecurities about her vocal abilities, but over time she overcame them. As she gained confidence, her powerful voice began to take center stage, becoming the focal point of the band's live performances and recordings. Despite this shift, Karen's passion for drumming never fully waned. She continued to play the drums, often using her trusted Ludwig drums, and on occasion, session musicians like Hal Blaine would be brought in to add depth to the band's sound. In addition to her drumming, Karen also showcased her versatility by playing bass guitar on certain tracks, such as All of My Life and Eve. Her multi-instrumental talents added to the rich musical texture that defined the Carpenters' iconic sound. Through her journey, Karen's growth as a musician and artist was both gradual and impressive, cementing her place as one of the most beloved vocalists of her time. Karen Carpenter's rise to fame began with the Carpenters' debut album, Offering, which was later retitled Ticket to Ride. This album highlighted Karen's remarkable voice and set the stage for their future success. In 1970, their follow-up album, Close to You, made a significant impact, propelling them to chart-topping success. The Carpenters' smooth melodies and Karen's soulful voice made them household names. Their blend of pop and easy listening was embraced by a wide audience. However, success came with its own set of challenges. Despite their popularity, the Carpenters faced personal and professional struggles, one of the most significant being Richard Carpenter's addiction to Quaaludes. His addiction caused several tour cancellations and eventually led to a hiatus for the group. Despite this, Karen continued to perform. In one notable performance, she teamed up with jazz legend Ella Fitzgerald for a duet, showing her versatility as an artist. While the Carpenters dealt with setbacks, Karen's talent remained undeniable, and she continued to contribute to music with her iconic voice. Karen's solo album in 1979 marked an interesting phase in her career. The album featured a mix of disco and up-tempo numbers, which was a significant departure from the Carpenters' usual soft pop sound. However, the reception from both her brother Richard and the executives at A&M was lukewarm, leading to the album being shelved and never officially released at the time. Despite the early rejection, the album was eventually released in 1996, much to the interest of fans who were eager to hear this part of Karen's musical journey. Her personal life was often marked by complexity, particularly her relationship with her mother. Karen had always been very close to her family, but tensions were evident in her later years. In 1976, she moved out of her parents' home, seeking greater independence. This move signified a shift in her life and career, one that would also see her marry Thomas James Burris in 1980. However, the marriage was short-lived, lasting only 14 months. Despite the struggles in her personal life, Karen's musical legacy, both as part of the Carpenters and as a solo artist, remains an important part of pop history. Karen Carpenter's battle with anorexia nervosa began in high school and became increasingly severe as the years passed. The pressures of fame, body image issues, and the demands of her career seemed to contribute to the development and intensification of her eating disorder. Throughout her rise to stardom with the Carpenters, a popular music duo she formed with her brother Richard, Karen's struggle with food and body image became more pronounced. Despite her success and public adoration, Karen's internal battle was consuming her, and she found it difficult to escape from the grip of anorexia. In an effort to recover, she sought professional help from psychotherapist Stephen Levenkron. He worked with her in an attempt to address the underlying emotional and psychological issues that were fueling her disorder. Unfortunately, despite these efforts, her condition worsened. In 1982, Karen's health had deteriorated to a critical point, leading to her hospitalization. Unfortunately, Karen Carpenter passed away in February 1983, only a few months after being hospitalized. Her untimely death brought awareness to the devastating effects of anorexia nervosa and sparked conversations about the pressures faced by individuals in the entertainment industry regarding their appearance. Karen's struggle has left an indelible mark on both her legacy and the ongoing conversation about mental health and eating disorders. Karen Carpenter died on February 4, 1983, at the age of 32 from heart failure, a tragic consequence of her long battle with anorexia nervosa. Her death shocked the world, especially her fans and loved ones, as she had been one half of the beloved musical duo, the Carpenters, known for their soothing, melodic hits. Despite her success, Karen had struggled with her weight and body image for many years, a private battle that became public after her death. Anorexia nervosa, a severe mental health condition characterized by an extreme fear of gaining weight and a distorted body image, played a significant role in her untimely passing. At the time, the disease was not as widely understood as it is today, which led to a lack of awareness and early intervention. Her death served as a wake-up call about the serious nature of eating disorders, particularly among those in the entertainment industry, where appearance often carries enormous pressure. Karen's funeral, held in her hometown, was attended by around 1,000 mourners, many of whom were deeply affected by the loss of the woman who had brought joy to so many through her music. Friends, family, and fans gathered to honor her memory, with her legacy continuing to resonate long after her passing. Despite her short life, Karen Carpenter's impact on the music world remains significant. Her voice, sweet and distinctive, left a mark that still influences artists today. Her death, though heartbreaking, opened the door for more conversation about eating disorders and their impact on mental health, particularly among women in the spotlight. Her story continues to be a cautionary tale about the dangers of fame, the pressure to conform to societal beauty standards, and the importance of seeking help for mental health struggles. Karen showed an early interest in dancing, often practicing the moves she admired in performances. However, her passion shifted when she discovered a new musical interest, drumming. This change was heavily influenced by her brother Richard, who was already an accomplished musician, and a classmate, Frankie Chavez, who introduced her to the intricacies of rhythm. Over time, Karen became deeply devoted to mastering the art of drumming, dedicating countless hours to learning different techniques and perfecting her skills. She focused particularly on mastering complex time signatures, which were essential for the jazz style she admired. Seeking to improve further, she often turned to seasoned jazz drummers for guidance, absorbing their expertise and integrating it into her playing. Her commitment to drumming not only shaped her musical career, but also helped her develop a deep understanding of the rhythmic foundations of music. This dedication was crucial in defining her musical identity and later contributions to the famous musical duo, the Carpenters. Karen Carpenter's collaboration with her brother Richard played a crucial role in shaping the duo's success in the music industry. Their combined talents made them one of the most beloved musical acts of their time. During their college years, Karen developed her vocal skills under the guidance of Frank Pooler, a key figure who helped refine her voice. This mentorship was instrumental in her becoming one of the most iconic singers of her era. Despite this, Karen and Richard's journey to success was not without its struggles. Early on, Karen faced setbacks in her musical career. One of her first significant obstacles was the disbanding of her initial band, 2E2, a group that had shown some promise, but ultimately did not succeed in making a lasting impact. Moreover, the duo's first recordings with Magic Lamp Records were not commercially successful, limiting their exposure at the time. Despite these early disappointments, Karen and Richard's persistence eventually paid off. They overcame these challenges and, through hard work and dedication, became renowned for their unique sound and harmonious collaboration. Karen and Richard Carpenter formed the Carpenters in the late 1960s, with the duo quickly refining their sound and carving out a unique place in the music world. Their journey began in their hometown of Downey, California, where they spent countless hours perfecting their harmonies and experimenting with various arrangements. Over time, their performances gained attention, and it wasn't long before they were signed by A&M Records, a major milestone in their career. The deal brought them the recognition they deserved, leading to a growing fan base and the development of their distinct musical style, which blended pop, soft rock, and easy listening. Karen's confidence as a singer grew significantly during her college years. Her involvement in the choir at California State University, Long Beach, allowed her to collaborate with others, further enhancing her vocal abilities. Frank Pooler, a professor and choir director, played a crucial role in her development as a vocalist. Pooler provided Karen with essential lessons that helped her find her voice, not just in terms of technique, but also in the emotional depth she brought to her performances. This period of growth allowed Karen to emerge as the lead vocalist of the Carpenters, a role she would become famous for. As she continued to refine her craft, Karen's rich, contralto voice became the defining sound of the group, resonating with millions around the world. The Carpenters quickly became one of the most successful music groups of the 1970s, with a string of hit albums and singles that captivated audiences worldwide. Their harmonious sound and Karen Carpenter's distinctive voice helped define an era in pop music. Their early success brought them a massive following and critical acclaim. However, behind the scenes, the pressure of fame and the demands of the music industry began to take a toll on the members of the group, particularly on Karen. Richard Carpenter, her brother, and the musical backbone of the group, struggled with his own addiction issues, which created additional tension within the band. Despite their professional success, the Carpenters faced personal challenges that were becoming harder to ignore. Karen, whose image as a talented and wholesome singer had won her the admiration of millions, was privately grappling with anorexia. This eating disorder became a consuming part of her life, and, despite her attempts to seek help, her health continued to deteriorate. The pressure to maintain her appearance, coupled with the emotional strain of her brother's struggles, made it increasingly difficult for Karen to overcome the disorder. Her condition worsened over time, and the physical and emotional toll it took on her body became evident. Despite the efforts to intervene and seek medical treatment, her health declined sharply, and she was eventually hospitalized. Karen's fight with anorexia was a heartbreaking chapter in her life, one that overshadowed her extraordinary talents and the success of the Carpenters. Her health struggles ultimately marked a tragic turning point, not only for her, but also for the legacy of the group. Karen Carpenter's legacy is a profound one, deeply intertwined with both her musical contributions and the pressures she faced as a celebrity. Known for her remarkable voice and musical talent, Karen became a symbol of elegance and grace in the entertainment world. Her music, especially with her brother Richard as part of the Carpenters, continues to resonate with audiences even decades after her passing. However, beneath her public success lay intense personal struggles that reflected the darker side of fame. The pressures placed on celebrities, particularly women, to maintain a flawless physical appearance can be overwhelming, and Karen's life is a tragic example of this. Throughout her career, Karen Carpenter faced constant scrutiny over her weight and appearance. In an industry where youth and beauty are often prioritized over talent, Karen felt the harsh expectations of maintaining a certain image. This pressure eventually contributed to her battle with anorexia nervosa, an eating disorder that dominated her life in her later years. Despite her success and love from fans, she struggled silently with self-esteem and body image issues, an experience that was hardly unique to her, but tragically resulted in her untimely death. Karen's passing in 1983, at the age of 32, brought to light the often hidden struggles of those in the public eye. Her story has since served as a cautionary tale, highlighting the destructive effects of societal and celebrity pressures on mental health. The constant demand for perfection can lead to devastating consequences, as was the case with Karen. Her legacy continues to inspire conversations about mental health, eating disorders, and the unrealistic standards imposed on public figures. Karen's story reminds us that fame, while offering adoration and wealth, also carries burdens that can have lasting emotional and psychological impacts. It is essential to acknowledge the complex and sometimes painful realities that accompany the public life of a celebrity. Her music remains cherished by fans around the world, but it is her struggle that serves as a poignant reminder of the importance of compassion, mental health awareness, and understanding the toll that fame can take on an individual. Karen Carpenter's life was deeply shaped by her relationship with her family, particularly her mother. Throughout her career, the dynamic between them played a significant role in her emotional well-being. While Karen's professional life seemed glamorous, her personal life was filled with struggles. Her mother's influence, in particular, was marked by high expectations, and this created a complex bond. At times, it seemed as though Karen was living in her mother's shadow, which could be emotionally taxing. These family dynamics undoubtedly contributed to Karen's internal struggles, leaving her feeling emotionally isolated at times. In addition to the emotional challenges, Karen also faced significant financial burdens. As her career progressed, she decided to work on a solo album, which came with its own set of financial and professional hurdles. The costs of producing the album added strain to her already difficult personal life. This added stress was compounded by the expectations placed on her both by her family and the industry. Despite her success as part of the Carpenters, Karen's solo album represented a personal aspiration that brought her into a difficult financial situation, making her feel even more overwhelmed. These financial pressures, coupled with the emotional strain from her family dynamics, created an environment where Karen felt constantly under pressure. Her struggles were not only internal, but were also influenced by external factors, such as her family's expectations and the financial risks involved in pursuing a solo career. Karen's personal and professional challenges became intertwined, and they significantly contributed to her emotional and physical health battles, culminating in a tragic end to her life. The combination of familial strain and financial stress made her story even more poignant as she continued to grapple with the weight of these burdens. Karen Carpenter's public life as a beloved singer was filled with success, but behind the scenes, she faced a series of private battles that ultimately overshadowed her career. Known for her angelic voice and wholesome image, Karen captivated millions as half of the famous pop duo, the Carpenters. Her warm smile and gentle persona on stage, however, masked deep struggles with her physical and mental health. Throughout much of her career, Karen quietly battled with anorexia nervosa, a disorder that she kept largely hidden from the public eye. This condition not only took a toll on her body, but also deeply affected her emotional well-being. As she continued to fight against her illness, Karen's personal life became increasingly complicated. Her marriage to Thomas Barnard, whom she wed in 1980, quickly unraveled. The pressures of her health issues, coupled with the constant scrutiny of her personal life, eventually led to a divorce in 1982. Despite the personal hardships she endured, Karen remained determined to revive her career. She hoped to continue making music, but her declining health made it increasingly difficult for her to perform at the level she once had. Her final years were marked by a series of hospitalizations as her anorexia worsened. She sought treatment in an effort to regain some semblance of control over her health, but her body had already suffered irreversible damage. The public, though largely unaware of the full extent of her struggles, began to notice her increasingly frail appearance. Karen's attempts to continue her career while managing such severe health challenges reflected the immense pressure many celebrities face in maintaining their image while grappling with personal demons. Her tragic passing in 1983 at the age of 32 shocked the world, leaving fans to mourn not only the loss of a talented artist, but also a woman who had lived much of her life in the shadow of her inner battles. In her final years, Karen Carpenter had sought to regain both her health and her career, but the pressures of fame, coupled with the relentless nature of her illness, ultimately proved too much to overcome.